Aye.
Thank you, Sam. So let's declare this Audit and Risk Committee meeting open. And do we have any apologies? Apologies. His Worship the Mayor for lateness. Is he coming on?
He's already joined.
He's already joined. Oh, welcome.
Kia ora.
Kia ora. Hope you're feeling better.
No, all good, thanks, Philip.
Excellent. There's no...
Philip, it's Waid here. I'm just wondering, is you're on my end, I'm not sure about others, but it's quite a low volume on your end.
Okay. All right, thank you. I'll see what I can do. Just a minute.
A bit muffled, sort of, really.
Yeah.
It's sort of muffled, like you've got something over the mic, maybe?
No, okay. I'll just change mics.
Mics. How's that? Is that better?
Yeah.
It depends
Much
on
better.
Depends on what application I'm running. Sometimes Zoom works better on using another microphone. So, and Teams requires. Oh, so how are you feeling, Mayor Phil?
No, good as gold, thanks, Philip. It has been an interesting week. It's about exactly a week ago to the hour I was in an aeroplane going to Waikato.
So, did they fly you back or did you have to drive back?
No, I was a passenger on the way back. I got chauffeured home.
Excellent. Right. Okay. Thank you. Nice to see you.
Thank you.
So there's no open forum and presentations. So our first item is the minutes of the meeting held 9th of February. Can we have a mover for the adoption of those, please?
Moved.
Thank you. Do I have a seconder? Don't have a seconder. I'll second.
Seconder.
Oh, thanks.
Brown.
Is that, who was that? That was Jack?
No, Councillor Brown.
Oh, Brownie. Thank you. Thank you, Councillor Brown. Any discussion, any points of clarification, any corrections of the minutes? There being none, all those in favour, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Or wave your hand. Those against. Item is carried. Next item is items for action. Big list here on page 13. Who's leading this one? Is there any update?
Through the chair, it's me, Marianne.
Yep, thank you, Marianne.
We have appointed a legal and procurement manager, and he starts actually on the 19th, not the 17th of April.
Okay.
Oh, I think the 19th, maybe it is the 17th. I need to look at a calendar. Anyway, he starts in April, mid-April. So, and one of his first things to do will be to look through Ahmed's procurement report and the outcomes from that, the recommendations from that, and start to implement those.
Great, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
It will be interesting, his comments on New Plymouth's little review over procurement as well. I'm sure you've all seen that.
Yeah,
in the paper.
He's a very nice person too, so I think it'll. Yeah, he looks like a good guy.
Don't worry, I better be careful what I say in public about lawyers. Right.
So.
Sorry. Moving on. So we don't need a mover for a second for that. Is there any discussion on that item? Andy?
Can I just interrupt? Tiara
Sure.
has just messaged me that she's coming.
She's coming. All right. Thank you.
At a hui running a bit late. Thank you.
Thank you. Do we want to have an apology for her for lateness then, just retrospectively going back?
Yeah, I'll move that.
Right.
If you need to.
Do we have a seconder?
Phil, second.
Thank you. I think Mayor Phil got in there. All those in favour, please say aye. Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Carried. So, and we don't need a resolution for this items for action. We just note those. Our next item is report from our good friends Audit New Zealand. And I understand we've got Chris standing by on Teams somewhere.
Yes.
So do you want to go, should we go, Gary, do you want to introduce the report, or are you happy that Chris Webby just comes online?
I'm happy that Chris comes online, Philip. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Hopefully you can see me.
Yeah, we can. Thank you, Chris. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you. Hopefully no kids come in because we're isolating at home at the moment. So
I
apologise if they do. I've told them to stay away for this meeting, but you never know. Can everyone hear me all right?
Yep.
Yep.
A bit faint.
A bit faint. I can take off these and see how it goes then.
How's that? Is that better?
Much
Yeah,
better.
much better, Chris.
Much better. Perfect. Awesome. So I'll go through the report. I'll take it as read. So on the adoption meeting, I covered most of the main points in the audit report, but I'll just keep it high level and happy to take any questions anyone might have. So as you'll see, the audit report received a modified opinion around completeness of complaints. That was similar to last year, and it was all around the after hours service from Palmerston North City Council. I'm happy to take any questions again on that. You received an unmodified opinion over the financial statements, and there was an emphasis of matter just around the three waters disclosures. So that was put in every council's annual report, who adopted after 27th October, after the announcement from the government that they were going to introduce legislation about starting up four new water entities. The key matters for the audit was the long-term investment fund. That's always going to be a key area of focus given the amount and the movements. From that, we've got no issues to report back. Accounting for shovel-ready funding and accounting for the three water stimulus funding, we're satisfied that that has been correctly accounted for in last year's financial statements. And the three waters reform disclosure, which we've already just mentioned around the EOM, we were satisfied that disclosure had everything it needed to. As you'll see with the report, it's a pretty clean report. So that shows a reflection of the council, how they're going. There was only one new recommendation this financial year, but no significant findings that I need to report to you. I'm happy to take any questions or go into anything in a bit more detail if you need me to.
Thank you, Chris. Any questions from members of the committee? No questions?
I have a comment.
Yep, thank you. Yep.
Reading the report, it gives us heart to see that our council officers are doing a great job continuing the good work, even though they had a little hiccup with the reporting, which they're still waiting for the DIA to come and give them information on. So yeah, I think it's a very good audit. I'm very pleased to see it.
Thank you, Andy. Chris, you're nodding your head, I see there.
Through you, Chair, I'd just like to reiterate those comments from Councillor Beccard. Obviously a great job done by our staff again, and that's really good to see. I'd like to thank you, Chris. Always good to work with, and we've had a good result. Just, I guess, one question. Where are we at now as regards this after hours and the recording? What stage have we got to with that? Is Palmerston North now recording every individual one, which they would have been fairly busy a month ago? Can someone comment on that, please?
Yes, through the chair, I can comment on that. We've asked Palmerston North to just start collecting every individual one as advised by Audit New Zealand, because DIA have still not come back to us. I expect they'll have it sorted out by the time the water entities shift over to them.
Yeah, I mean, that's interesting. I would say they've put it in the too hard basket to worry now. They'll just leave it go with that. So that's the way I'm reading it anyway. I don't know if you are, Philip.
Yeah, exactly. And the cynic in me, and I don't mind being recorded in this, that it looks like that the new entity would have a lower standard of complaints than TLAs, which to me seems, in the first few years, seems a little bit unfair to be treating the new entity quite differently than council in terms of the level of service. Now, I know it's only semantics, but that's not what the media often get hold of. They say, oh, look, the new entities only had 400 complaints compared with council's 5,000 complaints, but the 5,000 were only really 350. So that to me is a little bit going to be comparing apples and probably coconuts in terms of the difference. And I think it's probably a little unfair to do that, and it's probably something that the sector just needs to have a watching brief over. There's nothing we can do about it. It's just welcome to the world that we live in, and it's I won't say any more than that, or otherwise I'll dig myself a hole. But
Philip,
yeah, Andy.
Philip, I totally agree with you, and I wonder if Audit takes that on board, that the different standards in the reporting will be different to what's going to go ahead.
I'll let Chris answer that, but I might just preempt it to say, you know, I might defend Chris here. He only has got to interpret what the standard is, whether we comply or not. They've got no say over unfortunately, over the standard. Chris?
Yeah, agree with that. Unfortunately, yeah, for my work and the opinion I give, it's on what DIA has put in place and what the DIA interpretation of that is. Even if I disagree with that interpretation, I still have to audit to their interpretation. I'm not going to put on record that I agree or disagree. I don't want to dig that hole today. But yeah, there'll definitely be a thing that will be looked at with the new 4 water entities anyway, because performance information is quite important for any entity, and the new FRS 48 is coming in as well around performance reporting, and that actually just gives it a bigger boost. And then also you need to put your judgments of why you put those measures in as well. So it will be interesting to see what that new four new water entities actually do produce. I do know that we were, as an organisation, having discussions with the OAG, with DIA, about the measures, but that's still ongoing. I think they were looking at maybe changing some of them, but that hasn't progressed yet. So I guess within the sector, we are taking an interest in this as well, because we know it impacts the audits and our clients. So it'd rather be discussing with DIA where we can, because if we do find a potential problem, hopefully we can let them know before it comes out.
Yeah, thank you, Chris. The other question I've got is on the retentions, and just may want to ask Marianne or Garry, where are you in terms of making any progress on this? Because today is middle of March, and are you likely to have any further update for this up and coming annual report? Is it going to be a longer term project?
Yeah, through the chair, Philip. We are actually investigating the older contract retentions at the moment, and we hope to have it resolved by the end of the year, by the end of June. So yeah, we should have it cleared up by the end of June.
Okay, thank you. Any other comments, questions? I just want to thank Chris for coming, teaming in today, and thank you for your report, and no doubt we'll see you in the foreseeable future.
No, definitely. And can I just give a quick update? Is that all right?
Absolutely, yes. Yep.
So I'm catching up with management and the mayor tomorrow. It's part of the discussions I have with the planning for the following year's audit. And from that, an audit plan will come out, a draft audit plan and a finalised audit plan, and that will identify the areas of focus for this year's audit. So that will that usually comes to this committee. So you'll be able to see that. Just one area at the moment, and I'll be talking with management and that about tomorrow, is it's a sector issue at the moment. It's just around the revaluations, revaluations of infrastructure, and it all comes back to you've got the COVID implications as well, but then you've also got the war over seas now at the moment on oil prices, and then how does this reflect the actual valuation of infrastructure, especially because it's depreciated replacement costs. So oil goes up, bitumen cost goes up, and then also there's judgments around, is this just a spike? Is this sustainable market condition? Or so there's a lot of judgment involved there. So I will be discussing this tomorrow briefly with management, because this to me is definitely a key area of focus. Also, as an organisation, we are talking with the OAG about it as well, and we'll probably hopefully they'll be able to talk to some valuers, because we don't know what impact that will have on some valuation reports. Some guidance came out from, or something came out from Beccard saying within a year the prices have gone up 20%. So, you know, if someone valued last year, they potentially would need to revalue again this year. But it's just something I thought I'd just let the committee know that that definitely is an area of focus this year. Just around the uncertainty, and I don't think it's ever, in my time anyway, ever been as uncertain around contract prices. I've talked to different councils. Some are paying double the amount for a pipe at the moment. The demand is the highest it's been, and the supply at the moment is the lowest. So that, of course, increases their price. But is that going to be sustainable, or is that just more of a, hey, maybe in 3 or 4 months that will get back to normal levels, whatever those normal levels are? So I guess that's the kind of key estimation at the moment for evaluation. But I thought I'd just mention it at this audit committee, because that definitely is going to be one of the key areas of focus for this audit, and is the most time consuming as well.
Yeah, thank you for that, Chris. I was debating this with another chair of an audit and risk committee of another council, actually before this actually happened, even with the supply issues that were happening at the time. And we were debating that very issue. Is it actually a spike? And and I think we probably need to talk about this. Probably we've got a meeting scheduled for the 5th of May. I think it would probably be worthwhile to trying to understand the consequent, where the value is and where staff are heading in terms of that, and may actually bring you in, Chris, for that discussion. I think it's something that we really need to talk about, because there's huge implications. If we disagree over the valuation treatment, and how do we actually resolve that? My view, it is a spike, but how big is that spike? And that's the judgment call. And would you actually? That's the $1 million question. And to me, the other question is, with the current prices, would you actually replace your whole network at that price? Because that's what you've got to consider. It's not item by item; it's the accumulation of the impact on the whole network.
Yeah, that are the same questions that I've been thinking about, Philip, and asking. For example, you've got a roading contract that is signed, but that's only for specific work. But if you're actually going out to do a major bridge or a major part of the road, you have to then procure that. So you'll get different prices for that than your actual roading contract that you've got signed up at the moment. Yeah, and don't worry, there's definitely questions that I'm thinking of. And I know previously some councils in the past haven't revalued and have taken a hit to their opinion, but they would have rather done that than spend all the money and then revalue the following year again. So that there is definitely a area for some councils that may take into account, because some councils who revalued last year potentially may have to revalue again this year because of significant movements. Because So some councils may decide, well, it's not worth it because there's too much uncertainty and we don't want to spend that money. We'll take the hit to the opinion.
Yeah.
But definitely 5th of May sounds good. As long as someone books that in my calendar now, I'll be fine.
All right, thank you. I think that's probably enough discussion on that, and I'm sure staff have heard that discussion and they'll go away and consider it. Thank you, Chris, for that heads up. Very applicable.
Awesome. All right, thanks for that.
Thank you.
Talking for so long.
Can I just make one further comment there, Chair? With that, to me, a further complication with that at the moment, and it was highlighted the other day in a meeting we were on, is that Te Mara Arawai sort of building the thing as it's flying, building the plane as it's flying, and a lot of councils are struggling, probably all really, on actually knowing what infrastructure they need to be doing and what standard they need to be working to. So that to me is another serious perhaps cost and implication with this whole thing. It's not just the cost of the pipe, it's actually what size and how many we need, because there's actually no standard being put in place. So it's a real minefield in that sort of area at the moment, which is greater than what even this procurement one is.
Yeah, no, yeah, definitely agree there. And when you actually revalue for DAS, optimized replacement,
yes.
So that should, your valuation should actually take into account of what you actually need. So if a pipe, you've got a pipe that's say, let's say 100 wide, and you only need 50, then the valuation should be based on the 50. So it should actually be based on the optimized replacement costs. If you're replacing the network now, what would you replace it with? So you may have a double bridge, which you put as a single bridge.
Yeah, but also you can't, right? The valuation standard doesn't allow you to optimize up either. So if you actually need, rather than 100mm pipe, you need 150mm pipe, you can't value it as if you've got 150mm pipe. You've got to value it as if you've got 100mm pipe. So that's the challenge. Is actually working out what does an optimized network actually look like under the new standard, and what is actually so-called betterment that actually needs to come. It's going to be an interesting time. Thank you, Phil. Mayor Phil. Thank you. Any further questions, comments for Chris? Thank you again, Chris, and we'll probably see you next meeting.
Hopefully.
Thank you. Right. Thanks. See you later.
Bye.
So if any further discussion, we go back to the agenda. We've got a recommendation that we received the report. Can I have a mover for that recommendation, please?
Happy to move that, Chair. Phil.
Thank you. And seconded, Councillor Chris. Any further discussion? All those in favour, please say aye.
Aye.
Those against, carried. Our next item is our audit and risk work program, page 39. My only comment on this one as an introduction, we seem to be missing 2 meetings between now and the 11th of August. Are there any comments from staff on that?
Through you, Chair, that was last year, wasn't it? 2021. So we've got.
Thank you.
16th of March and then 4th of May, 8th of June.
Thank you. My apologies. I misread it.
Chair, what we will do though is have a look at getting meetings out through into the next financial year now as well. I think that it's probably worthwhile just doing that, having a look at the plans throughout the calendar year.
Because we've got a number of meetings before that popularity contest in October.
Yeah.
I
shouldn't be so cynical, should I, Your Worship?
Not at all, Chair. And sorry, obviously with that work plan as well, you've just added to the May meeting.
Yep.
We'll need to update that.
Yeah, so the work plan would then reflect that, would actually see the audit plan and any discussion on or direction on the revaluation, if we know anything at that stage. Gary, I assume we're due for revaluation at 30th of June 2022, is that correct?
We're actually, through the chair, we're actually doing the revaluation as at the 31st of March this year, which is timely because it saves us time during the final annual report.
Okay. So that's going to be a challenge with you. So who can I ask who are you using?
Well, we haven't decided yet. We're just putting it out to tender.
Okay.
Mr. Chair, can I interrupt there, please?
Sure, Vipul. Can we see your smiling face?
Can do.
I thought you were on sabbatical.
Well, I'm in between at the moment. So I'm heading up that work anyway, and I'm having a lot of conversations with the engineering team as well, and we're putting up the tender together. So that's going to be going out in the next 3 to 4 weeks time.
Okay.
And I had the conversation with Chris as well, so which we'll be talking to him tomorrow. What's up?
Okay. All right. Thank you, Vipul.
Yes, thank you.
So that's the work program. So we've got those couple of changes. So I know it's for the calendar, sorry, not the calendar year, the financial year, but yep. So I'm happy to move that we receive the work plan. And do we say as amended? Because we're bringing forward that work. Sam?
Through the chair. Oh, sorry.
Marianne, yep.
Can I just say as well, we should have taken off the LTP updated work plan, needs to come off there. We've got it off the main one now, so we'll.
Okay. So therefore I'm happy to move that we receive the updated work plan. Do I have a seconder? Thank you, Andy. No further discussion. All those in favour, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. As against, carried. Can I have a mover that we move into public excluded? Thank you, Councillor Chris. Seconder, thank you, Councillor Andy. No discussion. All those in favour, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Carried.
I will now stop the recording.
Thank you, Sam.